Yep. Anyways.
So, Sam, I don't have your hat anymore.
Lost it?
No, I lost it to my granddaughter. This is a beanie. I want this beanie. And it took it's a beanie. You know, I went and got some work at Sam's, and he gave me, you know, a toque. I couldn't wear the shirt because I wear my own shirt, but I can wear the toque. But I won't wear that for 6 months. But apparently, with teenagers, they wear them all year, and they don't call them toques; they call them beanies.
That's it. Well, welcome to another edition of the edition of Phoenix. We meet every week and try to exchange different types of information. We just found out this morning that this blue and white flower that one of our members found is poisonous, and it's irritant. It's like a bad poison ivy thing. So we'll put that on social media just for all of you to watch it. If you have this pops up in your backyard, not to play with it. Okay. So I'm Tony Jennis, and welcome to this edition. And we get together every week, and this is part of what Phoenix is all about. Especially we're.
Uh-oh.
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 Tony froze. Take over, Bernie.
All right, everybody to the left.
Getting together, and it's so good to meet in person.
There he is. He's back.
What's that?
Tony, your signal froze up there while you were talking. You're doing good now.
Oh, it's okay?
Yeah, now you are, yes.
Okay.
You were frozen otherwise.
Oh, you're frozen. Okay. Well, it's actually a nice day out there, but we'll see how that goes. So this is our main hub here, pbex.ca or phoenixbusinessexchange.com. It all comes to this hub. So if you get a new computer, you just simply go on here and everything sort of branches from this. Our member of the week is our Patricia Ramirez. She's our one of our members in our after hours group. So if you want some more information about her, there's her video and her e-card, and all of our members get an e-card, an electronic card where they can use on social media, and that's part of the membership. You don't pay extra for that. It's one of those that is great to have because when you can exchange your information online, they have everything. It's not just your website or just your phone number or whatever it is that sometimes we'll exchange. It has everything. In mine, I got about 52 things in there, so it's like a mini website in that case. But here are the four groups that we mainly have: our Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday group. Our Thursday, of course, is the South group. And we have our after hours group for those that have a really hard time in getting together on a weekly basis. We have this once a month in the evening, so it's nice and low impact. This way you can still network a little bit, but it's more of a mastermind group where we get together to try and help your business. So if you need something helped with AI, or if you need some help with whatever it is this is a project I want to do, then at least you have those people that are in the other audience, I suppose, that they can help you in some way, give you some suggestions, give you some places to look that maybe perhaps you haven't thought of. So it's a great place to be there. Some of the things we have coming up is our Bernie's East Tradewinds Global Networking, and we have that coming every Tuesday from between 8 and 9 o'clock every week. And if you want to basically take a nice deep breath of the week, I have my meditation class every Friday at 1:30. We're going to be talking about dogs and pets and how they are such a miracle for us on an energetic perspective, and how they can actually increase business. So we're going to be talking about that and how those energies come all together. Penny Lee does her Movement is Medicine. Because she gets together and she's a wonderful lady. She's has so much going on where she's taking her own personal experiences and bringing it into dance and bringing it into exercise in that way. So it's a nice way to be able to exercise, and it's a low impact, and she will exercise over 100 and some odd parts of your body in a very short time. Friends Friday, that's tomorrow. It's basically it's a get together at Penny Lee's place in Limoges, and I went to that last month, and I go to that periodically, and it's a wonderful way to get together. Where it's like the old fashioned, farm where we get together on a Sunday, sort of thing, and we with food and laughter, and it's basically done as a social event, but it's just amazing what comes out of it. There's always something that I'll bring home, or a contact I'll bring home, and so those are the small ones that I always really like to do because it has a lot of personality in there. If you want some more information about Phoenix, there's our QR code. You can click that, or you can scan that, or you have the place where you can find out more information about who we are in that way. And if you'd like to apply, there's a button for that. And this year we're focusing on the Canada Food Bank as our main charity for this year as part of our golf things coming up on September the 4th. We are going to be raising money for the Canada Food Bank, basically. Bernie, is there any other information you'd like to bestow on this one?
Oh, well, you know what, Tony? Funny you should mention that. I was just loading up the post for that.
Yeah, I was feeling that.
$88 gets you around a 9-hole round of golf. We're looking to fill up 24 seats. We are looking to actually expand beyond that. So the early registrations will help motor that along. And we are also looking for sponsors, grab bag related material, whatever, starting off the sponsorship at $100 and working our way up. If you have swag, that's handy. That we can. It's a good way to promote your own business. Back over to you, Tony.
Yay! Thanks a lot, there, Bernie. And there's a couple of one thing I wanted to mention, just to reiterate that we do have various packages in our membership itself. We have, of course, our premium package, which all of you are on now. You're coming in every week. We also have that monthly package that we talked about, where you're coming in once every month in the evening. But we also have a digital card package, where if you want just a digital card, and we do have a digital group for that. Okay, Cindy Little is part of that, and some others. And there's also a free membership where if you want to come in once a month at spots here and there, then that is also available. So this way we can get people from all kinds of spectrums in terms of what they want to focus on. All right. So let's move over to our words of wisdom. And Eric, do you have something for us, sir?
All right. Good morning, everybody. So what I have is a little bit of encouragement. So yesterday we had our broker meeting, our management meeting at England Brokers. And what was interesting is at the end of it, we were saying, okay, well, the real estate market is really strange right now. There's really weird activity going on. Some homes are selling in multiple offers, and other ones are taking 90, 100, 120 days to sell. And then what was interesting is our broker, John, was saying, you got to look at it this way. Everything you worked on 6, 7, 10, 12 months ago is working on the business. Today, we should be working in the business, meaning we should be consulting with the clients that are needing to make a decision today, that need something happening today. And so we need to be working in the business to get things sold or to get things purchased for our clients. So interestingly enough, a lot of people were saying, well, it's interesting because what do we do today to get more business? But we don't necessarily need more business if, as entrepreneurs, we have been working on our business for the last year. So that was the essence of the conversation yesterday. And so, interestingly enough, what happened yesterday, like literally, and Tony, you'll love this because we're always talking about this interconnection. I got an email, well, actually about half an hour after that, to be honest, 37 minutes to be specific. And it was literally somebody who emailed me saying, Eric, we need to sell this property. Can we meet tomorrow? So I'm meeting them at 3:30 today. It is a direct result, when you trace everything back, of a open house that I did. I think it was September 9 or something like this. Anyway, it was 7 months ago. I had followed up with the person, and in the education, they say to you, you should never let go of a prospect till you've at least had 12 interactions with that person, 12 reach outs with that person. Most salespeople will not follow up after one or two, saying, they're too busy. So I'm a huge person of learning and utilizing what I've learned. So then what I did is I've reached out every so often to this individual, never getting a response, never getting a response. So what I want to read out to you is the title. You know, when you have an email and you have the subject line, and this is what I'm starting to use. I'm happy to copy and paste it to anybody. I can put it in the chat group. But I literally said on April 4th, the subject of my email was, would it be a crazy idea to have a short conversation together about what you are looking for in real estate? That's all it was. And my body of my email was, I realize that you might be busy with other things, that family or work might be a priority right now. However, would it be a crazy idea to have a short conversation together about what you are looking for in real estate? When we last met, I was hosting an open house at blah, 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 yours in real estate. Didn't get a response. That was April 4th. So now we're May 8th. I got a response May 7th. So after 1 month, I ended up getting that response. So hopefully what you're getting from all of this, and the whole theme of that is, don't think that what you're working on today is necessarily what is going to, put money in your bank account today or tomorrow. Remember that what you're working on is plowing the field, putting the seed down, putting the water down, then you're putting the fertilizer down, and then you're praying to the gods that the suns are going to come out and whatever. But you're working on that a long time ago. And think of a farmer when they are making sure that 2026 is going to be good. They're not only taking care of their crops now, but they're already thinking, what do I have to do at the end of this crop season to get my land ready in order for 2026 to be a fantastic year? So all that to say is, I was doing that last year, and you kind of feel like sometimes it's just not going to happen, but it does, because you have followed up and you've used verbiage in the sales thing. And I've mentioned this in the education before. You're trying to ask that question where the person is going to answer that question with a no. Because a yes feels sleazy and salesy. A no is something that's more easy for a human being to say, and it gets them thinking. So there's your education. If you have any questions or you want to copy and paste or any of those kind of things, feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much, Eric. And I really love the fact that Eric today focused on the fact that these are customers or clients that he has. Sometimes we are so focused on getting new people, new prospects, and then we have a plethora of people that are dormant accounts that we just maybe need to revisit. Maybe people.
But they weren't accounts. So Tony,
not even dormant accounts, but these are.
I've never even had a conversation outside of an open house with these people in 7 months. These are totally brand new people to me. So that's the beauty of it, even more so, right?
Yeah, exactly. But when it's the follow-up that has all of that going, and the term for the fortune is in the follow-up. That's really where we need to focus. So look at some of your clients that you've had before, even if it's just a random thing, like you've never dealt with them before, but you have their name somehow, and something in the past got you to write it down. So work it that way. Okay, let's work with our introductions. First of all, I want to thank Percy Barr for coming in today. Thank you, sir. Bernie had the luxury of setting up Percy today. He's going to be talking today about some AI. Those that are watching, stay tuned, because Percy, whenever he brings anything up, there's always some impact. So I really, really appreciate that. So let's go right into our introductions. And Terry, how would you like to start us off?
Good morning, everyone. I am Terry Black, and I guide people on how to plan the biggest and greatest celebration of their life. I am a pre-planning advisor with Dignity Memorial. And why do people pre-plan their funeral? Why don't they just wait until let the family deal with it? Well, there's two reasons. One is to remove the emotional stress and the financial stress from their loved ones, and also to lock in today's prices so that they're not paying exorbitant amounts down the road. Their family's not paying, because every 7 to 12 years, just like inflation, everything else goes up. So does the funeral cost. So every 7 to 12 years, prices double. So that's another reason to look at pre-planning now. I'm here to answer all your questions and, just to have a discussion. And so you can be more informed about what is all involved. Also, I just wanted to mention we are having a grief workshop on May 20th at McAvoy Shields. It is from 7 to 8 p.m. And it's a good topic, talking with kids about death, dying, and grief. So if you know of anybody who might be interested in, learning about that, please direct them my way, and I'd be happy to give them the information. I had a BAM with Jacqueline yesterday, so that's awesome. And that's it. So I'm Terry Black, Dignity Memorial, Pre-Planning Advisor, every detail remembered. Thanks so much.
Wow, Terry, that's amazing. I love that infomercial. Good job, good job. Norm, over to you, sir.
Good morning, Norm Boyer, Boys Home Maintenance and Repair. This is the time of year that people start trying to open their windows and they can't open their windows, so we do a lot of window and door repairs this time of year. We have a couple of inquiries that are going to come in for catios. Catios, the patio for cats, an outdoor enclosure for cats that they get in from the house into the outdoors, but be protected from other predators, and the birds are protected from them. So the honeydew lists, I have to explain to some people. They see that on my van. Thanks to Steve Barkenmeyer. Says honeydew list, we get it done, and the people do not know what a honeydew list. So I have to explain that honey is a term of endearment, and it means, and that person goes up and makes a list and says, honey, do this list. So if you have somebody who's done that, say, I can do that, and call Boyer Boys and we do it for you, so you can go golfing and fishing or whatever you'd rather do in the weekend than 3 weekends of honeydew lists. So the other thing is high performance glass. If rooms are too hot or too cold, we swap the glass out. We don't change the windows, we just change the glass, and it makes a difference in the comfort of the house. This high performance glass reflects back heat. It's like an invisible aluminum foil on your windows. You see through it, but it bounces the heat back. Summer bounces it out, winter bounces it in. So Boyer Boys Home Maintenance Repair, you don't know how to do it, you don't want to do it, you don't have the time to do it, we'll do it.
Thanks, Norm. Any BAMs?
Yes, I went to Sam and kind of had a BAM. He changed the oil on my van and checked out my brakes for me. I did that. And then I'm going to have some business with Jacqueline. I talked to her yesterday. So there's some business going to be coming out.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Norm. Awesome. And over to Eric.
Bonjour tout le monde. Don't forget, I do speak French. Alors, s'il y a quelque chose qu'on a besoin, laissez-moi savoir. A lot of people forget that I speak French, so I wanted to make sure that people know that I take care of both. Last year, probably 25% of my clients ended up being francophone. So please think of me if you have a French client who'd like to converse in business in French. I'm more than happy to do that. So I'm Eric Perrin. I'm your real estate advisor with England Brokers Ottawa, and what I do is make sense out of the market. What I do is, I don't know if I've really spoken too much about this, but I use a spreadsheet when I do my comparables. And what I do when you're doing a CMA, a comparative market analysis, I literally use a spreadsheet. And I will look at your property and I'll compare it to 3 other properties. And I'll make sure in that we are plussing and minusing either advantages or disadvantages that the market might think that your home or property has compared to others. What it does is it doesn't mean that I'm just thinking of a random number out in my head. I know that some realtors, I won one a couple of years back because I said, I think your house is going to sell around $850. And I think so if you price it at $850, chances are you'll get your $850. But if you price it for more, you're going to be on the market. It's going to take a while to sell, etc. I was competing against 2 other realtors, and they both told him, I think you should, your house will go 900 to 950. And he told me that the reason he went with me is that I could prove the 850 with my spreadsheet. When he asked the two other realtors, how are you proving your 900 or your 950? They said, well, yeah, maybe we should revise the number down a little bit. So what they were trying to do is gain his business by just amplifying things and making things look rosy. Whereas my spreadsheet will tell you exactly where the market is going to be for your particular home. So if you're looking for real advice, real information, sincere information, not just pie in the sky, I'm going to do anything I can to get your business and put my sign on your front lawn, make sure to reach out to me. I'm Eric Perrin, your real estate advisor with Engel and Bokers, Ottawa. Take care.
Thanks, Eric. And any referrals or VAMs?
Yeah, definitely always a referral. I think probably twice a week to Norm. So we have our Google chat with Engel and Bokers. We're like 120 odd realtors in there, constantly asking for different things. So Norm, your name gets popped up in there probably twice a week. Everybody's looking for that. And then in the Facebook group, we have a Realtor 2.0 group that's also a closed group. So I usually put out Norm's name in there at least once a week.
Thanks a lot, Eric. Beautiful. And over to Jacqueline. What's up, Jacqueline?
Oh, there we go.
Deep breath.
Good morning, everyone. And so groovy to see you on this Thursday. I keep thinking time is clicking along and looking forward to hanging out as I take a beautiful long deep breath, lift my shoulders and take them back and take a walk through the tulips because it's coming. They're here. And as I'm looking at the tulips and taking those long deep breaths, I'm often having a conversation with my clients. And they're not clients until they say, I want to be your client, which is stellar. And when they ask me that, my question will always be, how can I help you? So these clients sometimes require money for renovations, which I get to call Norm and say, Norm, I don't know if you can help them, but I would love for them to have a conversation with you. Or sometimes about debt consolidation. And then often I have to ask, have you done your taxes? Has Eric spoken to you yet? Sometimes it's about a line of credit for their businesses. We know so many entrepreneurs out there. Maybe that's what they need to access. And maybe they're not going to use traditional means. So when you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you want to contact your mortgage honey.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Any BAMs or referrals?
Yes, well, I had a groovy conversation with Terry, and thank you, Norm. I'll get that information to you ASAP. And Airzone with Matthew. Amazing. My client is loving the opportunity to work with him.
Awesome. Good job. Okay. Thank you very much. And over to Susan Epps. Go ahead, Susan.
Good morning, everyone. Susan Epps from melaleuca.com. And guess what? I think spring might have sprung. Maybe you're thinking about spring cleaning in your home. We have everything that you might possibly need to clean your home. We've got a new and improved window cleaner. We've got Solumel, which will get rid of any kind of smell. It's great for getting rid of pesky ants or things that might have crawled into your home over the winter. The thing with Melaleuca products are they're non-toxic and concentrated. A little goes a long way. You put a little in the bottom of a spray bottle, the rest is water. So you're saving yourself money and you're saving the environment by not putting so many plastic bottles into the environment. You may have seen pictures of the ocean with bottles everywhere. It's just terrible what we're doing to our environment. So Melaleuca and myself are trying to slow down that process. So Susan Ebbs with all your non-toxic cleaning needs. No BAMs, but I do have ongoing business with Penny Lee and Wendy Chung.
Thank you, Susan. And just for the benefit of others that are online, and just to respect Percy, what a BAM is a business activity meeting, and it's when we all get together as from one member to another, and they're just talking about business or about their family, just to get to know the person a little bit more. And those BAMs, as we call it, they often produce referrals from that because we know more about what a person is looking for in that hour. Sometimes when people come to me, it's 3 hours, because I tend to like to talk, as you can probably see. But that's what a BAM is. And so it's really important to do those so that we can really understand what the other person's doing, okay? So... And I would just make a note here. If a cat is making a patio and you call it a catio, and the dog, what would a dog be? Would be a daddy-o? Had that written down. So Norm, that might be a good project for you there to
Let's call it a dog run.
put up some dog. Some dog ones. It's always great. And over to
Another
Sam.
dog-o.
Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. It's let's see, samstorsconnectedcars.ca, also known as Dashcam Sam, because I install dash cameras in cars, but I also do minor repairs, oil changes, brake jobs, and things like that. And down the road, I'm going to be talking about turbocharged engines, something that is getting more popular with cars. Smaller engines with the turbocharger to get the horsepower, but they aren't like the old engines. You need to take some precautions with those engines. And if you don't know about it, contact me or listen to my next presentation, because I'm going to be talking about turbocharged engines. Let's see here, BAMs wise. Let's see, Brenda Lee. I did a donation to Brenda Lee, and as Norm mentioned, he was here last week with his company van. And I did an oil change on it, and I inspected the brakes because was told that he needed brakes on it, and lo and behold, he did not need brakes on it. So that saved him a few $100 right there. He had at least 8 millimeters, so good 30,000 kilometers still left on those brakes.
Wow.
Those are things that I can do for people, and it comes up every year where people are telling others that they need brakes and they don't. So it's something I like to help my customers with. Let's see here. That's it for me. Sam Stores Connected. Oh yes, the hat. That's right. I put the toque on.
We noticed it. Hard to not notice it.
Norm got a toque from me when he was here, and it sounds like his granddaughter took it from him. So if you're interested in something like this or a free T-shirt, drop by and get the service from me, and you get one or the other, whichever you prefer. Sam Stores Connected Cars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
By the way, does that decal glow in the dark? Boy, if it does, it would be great to walk the dog and see this. Thanks a lot, Sam. And over to Hair Bernie.
I've got hair, yes. Folks, good morning. And contact details are in the chat. What do? I thread connections basically between businesses. Percy is a guest here today, and I've known Percy. Yesterday we had Rahel speaking about Web Indexer, and that's kind of the nature of the beast. Try to bring things together that will offer opportunity for all parties concerned. And grow or just share information, right? And that's the whole purpose. Knack for Business podcast. Well over 300 people have been interviewed, and we're still cruising. And in fact, Wayne Pratt is he's getting good at having tableside chats. And then there's a Property Wizard podcaster, and that's about understanding real estate investment. Does not make you a realtor. It does not make you the know-it-all, but it provides you a background. And there's a course in there that can provide you more information, and there's guidance to that and how to dodge the flaky folks that are out there. East Trade Winds, the YouTube link is there. As things come up and people speak, we share that information too. Over to you, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Bernie.
But wait, there's more.
I was just going to say, I knew there was something else. That's why I stopped.
Sorry. So doing a BAM or getting a quote from Matt from Arizona HVAC. And let's see what else. Met with Kara Leaf from the Canada Food Cupboard for the golf tournament. Again, swag, looking for golfers, etc. Any input? 9 holes, simple game, life simple. And what else? Jacqueline joined us at the East Trade Winds. That was good, and did work with Josh. And service announcement with Josh. If you have a PC that's getting old and lame, and you're going, it's not that old, he can rejuvenate it. Whether it's a new hard drive, maybe add some RAM if it's doable, and that makes a world of difference. It's cheaper than a new box. Over to you, Tony.
Thank you very much, Bernie. Good job. And I'm Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I'm a medium and clairvoyant, and I love to use those talents to be able to give people peace in just a very short time. Last night, I had a 911 call from somebody that was just freaking out over a legal issue that was happening in their family. Big family, and there's a lot of things going on, and they were just going through such a turmoil. She came in, had to drive about an hour and a half to get to me. And in the 2 hours that I spent with her, she left smiling and calm, and because Spirit had other things to say to give her clarity of what was going on. Sometimes when we jump to conclusions, when we look at a situation from one angle, we don't see the bigger picture. And so Spirit was able to give her that bigger picture, and actually connected to her mother in the tuning session. She passed away about 8-9 years ago, and this way she was able to get that confirmation that I was giving her. So not only is it great to be able to get what I give, but I think the bigger thing here is that they're getting it also from their parent that they trust very much, that passed away. So that's what I can do. I'm sort of the Wi-Fi guy. If you're not connected, I can connect you that way. So it's I have an event coming up that I just posted. It's a sound bathing event. It's basically a 2-hour event on June the 25th. And I've only got about 15 seats here in my studio, and they're going to go fast. Anything else that'll be outside of that will be online. So that way we can connect people from different countries. I know people all over the world. And but if someone is in the Ottawa area, you want to drop in, and you have some uncertainty about something, this 2 hours will give you the clarity, and you'll walk away with some degree of thing. I'm getting crystal bowls, and I've got some new gongs coming. I'm just so giddy. I'm picking it up next weekend. So I can't wait, because I had to search almost a month and a half to get the best. I get the best of everything. And I always seem to pay a lot more for it, but for my clients, it's worth it. It's just like L'Oreal, you know. That's what, when people come to me, I want to make sure that they get the best equipment and the best the time, so that they get the clarity from those really tuned items. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. So if you're we're always here to raise your spirits. All right. So today we have the honor of having Percy Barr join us, and I know Percy from another group, and he's a magnificent speaker. And thank you, Percy, for coming in. He's going to be talking to us about some great things that we can use in our business. And Percy, I'll hand it over to you, sir.
Well, thanks, Tony. And thanks, Bernie, for the offer of coming in here and chatting to some familiar faces, which is always good. I've, as Tony was mentioned, I'm kind of in the AI world. Just for clarity, I have spent way too many years in the IT industry. So I remember punch cards and ticker tapes and line terminals and page terminals, and I remember when personal computers were selling for $15,000-$20,000, and that was a good deal. That was a discounted deal. So yeah, I remember those days. And I spent about 13 years in retail sales and business sales with computers after I graduated from college and couldn't find a programming job. because that was during a recession when I graduated from college. And I've spent the last 25 or so years in healthcare. I've worked the help desk, I've worked the server desk, I've worked I've did special projects. We did all kinds of stuff that was really interesting at the time, but then it was time to move on. Artificial intelligence really started to take off when the hospital and I decided that we weren't on the same track, and we decided that it was time to part ways, which was a good thing for all concerned, I might add. So AI was just starting to take on, and so being computers, I thought, well, I'll spend a little time, I'll look at this, but it's like everything else. Once you start digging into it, it really is quite a beast. I have 3 screens on me here right now, so if I start looking the other way, it's not that I'm not looking at you, it's just that there's things going on. And there's a big promise with AI, that it properly integrated, AI will make your life better, it'll make your business more profitable, you'll be more productive, and that really is the promise. But I can tell by the number of people here and the expected age, not your real age, what expected age, that you probably heard this promise before. Now, and there's all kinds of people saying you need to take action right now in artificial intelligence. And really, we're at a spot where about half of the businesses in the world are looking at AI and how it's going to work with their business. And that's a good turning point right now. It means that you have lots of opportunity left in this business. So AI is helping businesses grow. It's absolutely true, and some of them are growing at pretty fast rates, which is always good. But really, there's only a small portion of businesses that are getting it implemented correctly that actually sees a return on their investment. And that's because there's lots of people out there who are trying to do it themselves. And they're doing this at the side of the desk. Now, I bet you that every one of you has business projects that's sitting at the side of their desk that you need to get dealt with, and you haven't done anything with it in the last couple weeks. AI can't be that project. With artificial intelligence, the amount of new things coming up in the world is doubling every about 6 to 8 weeks. So we're going to see a lot more competition. We're going to see a lot more of your competitors take on artificial intelligence and get a little bit ahead of you. And that's not where we want to be. We want to be at the front of the pack. We don't want to be in the middle and the rear. So we need to take some kind of action. And like I said, most businesses are falling behind. Not because they're not good businesses, not because they don't have a good business plan, but because they aren't taking advantage of the productivity and just the features that can be helped with artificial intelligence. So there's lots of reasons why people ignore artificial intelligence, or like any other change in their lives. They feel overwhelmed, and most business people are overwhelmed with the amount of work. The last thing they need, like I said, is another project. No idea what's possible. They've heard people do all kinds of stuff in their industry, but they're not really sure it's good for them. They're scared of this systematic approach because they've kind of done things the way they want to do them, and their businesses kind of grew up through kind of an organic way, and they don't have workflows and systems and processes in place, which is kind of what is required for some of the AI stuff. And they're also resistant to the possibility of having to reduce the human experience in their business. This could be a secretary, a VA. This could be, some physical people, but it also could be, that personal contact that you have with your clients that you appreciate, and most of your clients do appreciate it. And, like any other change, it feels very effortful. It's going to take some effort on your part. And the last thing you want on your balance sheet is another expense that isn't showing a return on your investment. So those are most of the reasons why people are ignoring AI to their detriment. So there's all kinds of ways that AI is transforming businesses. Here's a few that are kind of common. You probably heard conversational chat box, both text chat box and also audio chat bots. Really interesting, and some of the new stuff that's happening with virtual assistants as far as secretarial side of things, answering phone calls on your behalf, talking to your clients, collecting data, putting them right into what is called a CRM or a client relationship management system, so that you can contact them later. Really cool. Media content production. This could be anything from brochures to emails to ebooks, quick cheat sheets, anything like that. Also, if you're doing letters, you can use it to do at least a rough diagram of the letter, what you want to say, and use it to do it. Because you shouldn't just send it out. You shouldn't create and send. You need to put your voice into it, and that's part of the challenge. Some of you have complex workflows where you're trying to move data between systems, and it doesn't always work out well, but it also takes a lot of time. Well, we may be able to automate those types of things, and so you never have to look at it again. We're getting more and more documents pushed at us that have legalese and complicated syntax in them, and they're just the sheer volume of data that you have to work out. I know Bernie and I are in a group on Thursday, later on this morning, because I just remembered it is Thursday, and that particular individual likes to send out Harvard Business Reviews. Well, they're usually 20 to 30 pages. Well, I don't have time to read 20 or 30 pages of business material at a different level than I'm comfortable at reading. So I can throw this into an AI engine and get a quick summary, and at least I can keep up with the conversations. Well, think about that with all the other complicated documents you have. It doesn't get you off the responsibility of knowing the material, but it does give you at least a highlight of what the document's about, and you can talk about it with some level of sophistication. You can also use artificial intelligence to research ideas, research other products, and you can also use it to research your competition and find out what they're doing, what's different from you, and how, maybe something they're doing that you can actually implement rather quickly. So how is it getting implemented? Well, the biggest way is off-the-shelf tools, which is super for us. Off-the-shelf tools mean cheap. Inexpensive. So you can start with a basic membership to Chat GPT for about, well, I guess it's about 32 Canadian a month, which is pretty reasonable, and that would give you a lot of support if you have the details of how to do it. You can also get someone like myself to build some custom workflows so that actually it makes it quite easier for you. We can also work with custom tools. These could be the chatbots and clones and apps and those types of things you may have heard. They're coming on, especially the agents are coming along quite quickly in business today. And also we can do some personal training, or we can set up a small course to get you thinking about AI and how it can work in your business. So where's AI getting implemented? Well, if we look at all those possible ways that AI can work in the standard business, it's pretty extensive. And this is just a small list of places where you can get some benefit out of talking with someone about artificial intelligence and how it would work in your business. So there's a process to get this started. And first of all, you have to identify what areas you really want to impact. And then there needs to be some interview of the team members. If it might not just be yourself, it might be some other people. We'd interview those people, and then we would create a report. And this would be what we call an AI assessment. The AI assessment would look at the business as it sits right now, what the possibilities are, what the low-hanging fruit is, and what could actually provide you with some time back in your schedule. And these would be good things. We would create a report about that, and we would present it to you. At that point, we would work onto a second contract after we agreed on what was going to go forward, and we'd start to put that solution together and test it. We'd implement the solution and train you or your team, and then we would monitor that on an ongoing basis, because this is not artificial intelligence is not a one and done event. If you buy a house and you do not maintain it, what you will have in about 10 years is the worst looking house in your neighborhood, and you have actually just eliminated any value of the house if you don't do any repairs for it. AI is the same way. You need to keep maintaining it. You need to check to make sure that it's actually giving the right answers. And unfortunately, these with other software, these companies are constantly updating the engines. Well, you know, as Sam will tell you, just because they make an improvement in the engine doesn't mean it's an improvement. So, oh, we got it's new and improved. Well, maybe, but maybe not for my case. So there needs to be some ongoing things that are done with that. So really, how do you get started? We do an assessment. It usually takes about 2 or 3 hours of your time that we talk about what's going on in your business. We do we figure out whether you're ready for AI in the future. So we look at your current situation. We look at your data capture situation. And then we look at the people in your team to see what skill sets are available. And then we put together this assessment. And that assessment will look at where you can benefit, AI can benefit you the most, what kind of workflow we could work with to actually do some artificial intelligence. And we look at the competencies that exist, and we bring you up to the point where they're actually you can use the solution. So, if that sounds interesting, I also have a free book on my website, which is percybar.com, which is Future Proof Your Career. Just sign up for the thing there, and you'll get a copy of that. You can get in touch with me directly at percybar.com. You can give me a call on my cell phone. I will not answer as Percy Barr. I'll answer hello, because, hey, that's the way it is. If you forget all that, Bernie won't, and neither will Tony, how to get a hold of me. Just reach out. But I'd like to open it up for questions, if that's okay for you guys. And let's see if there's some stuff that you're kind of thinking about. And this is an open discussion, and we can talk about anything that you want as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Need to kind of put it in a little box. So.
I think we've all used artificial intelligence just for fun to start with, but I think what Percy's really looking at is how can we use it in our business so that it actually can produce something. Anybody have any questions about this at all?
So, go ahead,
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Percy. Thanks for your presentation today. Yesterday, we had a young man who has a chat line kind of app when it comes to AI and how it can help you. People like myself, where people are asking questions and it'll try and answer those questions. What are your thoughts on that kind of thing?
So, really helpful for the business. There's some stats that say that the average business is missing about 10 to 20% of the phone calls that come into your business, just because you're too busy, right? There's not enough people on the floor. But you know full well, Sam, from your own experience, that if you go onto a web page and you find an email or phone number about a product that you need, and you phone and the people don't pick up the phone, you never phone them back. Right? Has anyone had that experience? You phone if you phoned a plumber and he didn't answer the phone, would you phone them back? If you didn't know them.
If their reviews are very good, and I sometimes might call back, but if I call back the second time, then I won't call back after.
But you're not in the same mindset you were, Tony. When you phone them back the second time, you're already annoyed.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking for answers. Yeah.
I try the next one. That's what I do. Is I try the next one. If they're not answering the phone, then I go, okay, well, I'll try the next plumber or electrician or whatever.
What if you had a piece of AI technology that would answer that phone? You had listed a bunch of FAQs, things about where your business is, what hours you are, what type of services you provide, how quickly that you can get work done, that type of thing. And you already had that in a big document, and that actually spoke to the person who answered the phone. And when they asked something that was outside of that, it said, "Just hold on. I'll put you together. I'll put you in touch with a human who will answer that."
And so then what happens?
It either transfers you to a direct line or sends the person who's in charge a text to say, "Hey, this person has called. Here's the full conversation."
Ah,
They're expecting a phone call in the next 15 to 20 minutes.
okay. Yeah, because if I'm in session or something and the phone rings, I won't answer it. I'll wait until an hour after I'm done or something and then call them back. But yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So if you were running a service business where you actually have service contracts, someone has a down server, it's a computer business, which I was in, you know, they've got an immediate need to get something done. If no one can answer the phone for them, how much is their service contract worth? Well, zero, because they can't get the service they need. But if they could get to an AI assistant who would actually text the service tech to say, "Hey, Joe's got a problem with his server, it's down," or whatever the product is, uh, and he's expecting a call, have that thing send a text back to the person who called to say, "Hey, we've contacted so and so. Their anticipated ETA for return of this call is 5 to 10 minutes. Here's the details if you need to get a hold with him directly, but he's your person on call today." How much better would they feel?
Yeah, Percy, that's fantastic. Like even in real estate, I can't tell you how many times I answer the phone and they're like, "Oh my God, I've called 5 realtors. You're the first person that answered the phone
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that's gotten back to me."
So,
Like that happens 10 out of 10 times. It's crazy.
Eric, I'm going to ask you to pull a number out of your hat. If you don't want to
Uh-oh.
give me a real number, how many how many um, properties do you have listed right now?
2.
Two. How many phone calls do you get from other realtors about those properties?
0.
Zero?
About those particular properties? Yeah, 0.
Looking for details on those properties?
0. They get it all on MLS and then they go book a showing and go see it.
So this may be the American thing more often because of other things, but there's a lot of phone calls back and forth between realtors and stuff. You can set those properties up, the details on them in a database. You can also have that artificial intelligence actually give the details about the property, and you have a PDF that's created for that property. If they request it, it actually takes the contact information from the call, makes sure it's right by reading it back to them letter by letter, and then sends them the details about that property.
Yeah, now that's interesting because I had somebody from Public call me up or email me through realtor.ca
Yep.
saying, "Hey, can you give me," and it's always the standard, whatever the drop down is, right? "I'd like more information on this property," which tells me nothing. It's like, well, what kind of information are you looking for? Like this is and everything is on MLS anyway, right?
Right.
Yep.
So I
Obviously,
get more questions from Public that way, whether it be a phone. Actually, I've had 2 phone calls on a property that I've got in Longsu, exactly that, but not from realtors asking me any questions.
yep. So you could do that for the public, or you could do it for
Yeah,
realtors. So it would also collect that information, it would put it into a CRM. It would also provide a series of emails out to that client if they're not interested in that particular property to try and find out whether you can categorize the buyer. Are they a one-time and done? Is this a family residence they're trying to purchase? Is this a
yeah,
cottage they're trying to purchase? Are they investors and therefore they'd like to know more about different properties? And you can start to segment your list based on your client relationship management system, and then you can start sending out information about individual properties or things you've come up with. If they're homeowners, wouldn't it be nice to hear from you every maybe a month, every 2 months to say, "Hey, did you know that the prices of properties have changed in your area?" Or something
yeah.
about
Now
their
I do that
house.
all manually at this point, right?
Yep.
It's not automated,
So
but
you could use AI to
yeah,
create the text for that. Then you bring it into your word processor, you Ericize it, i.e., you put
yeah,
it in your voice, and you send it out. So with me, the worst thing I can have is a blank piece of paper. I'm just done.
Mhm.
So AI has been a real blessing for me because I can at least put a couple ideas of what I want,
Yeah.
get a rough email, change the text to be what I want, and go from there.
Okay. Percy, did you put your contact information in the chat?
I have not yet.
Okay, yeah, just in case anybody wants to get a hold of you. I know that people have other meetings to go to, so we're slowly dwindling there. But if you can do that, we can pass that to the others as well later on. Percy, thank you very much for the presentation. Yeah, AI is always a big thing, and how to use it, I think, is always a big question. And I think that how is going to be keep changing every 6 to 8 weeks because it's just so many things.
Like I said, engines are changing, products are coming out by the ton, and this is the advantage of talking with someone like me who's actually in this business. I'm looking at this stuff all the time and doing the reviews.
Okay.
Right, so I get an idea what's actually good and what isn't.
Very good, Percy.
Well,
Thank you.
Okay.
You're
Thank
gonna
you
like
very
the
much,
quote.
Percy.
You're gonna like the quote for the day. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. So there you go. If you're gonna play with AI,
That's
just have
awesome.
at her.
And for those that are watching on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live,